Heath, just tell us how your off season's gone and sort of the outlook you have for your team.
Well, the off season has went pretty well for the most part. The kids have worked hard. They've invested a lot of time this off season into becoming a better football team. We had a pretty good spring for the most part. We played Russellville, had a good spring game with those guys up in northwest Alabama, and the summers went really well thus far. Of course, you're always going to lose guys in the summer. We've lost a few, but if they're not willing to work out, they're not willing to show up, they don't really want to play football. As far as our outlook for this season, I'm looking forward to us getting off to a much faster start this season than we did last season. Lost a couple of close games early right out the gate. We were a young football team, and that was hard for us to overcome. Now, they did continue to work, didn't have bad attitudes, anything like that, and as the season progressed, the offense began to pick up and we started scoring some points and things of that nature, but by that time, we'd received a few injuries on defense, and we started giving up points. So, with that being said, I'm looking forward to us getting off to a faster start this season. And those 5 games that we lost last season that could have went either way, we're going to win those games this year.
For the players, Coach mentioned the early season struggles, but I'm just curious, what do you guys see as the outlook for this team? What do you guys think that the strengths of this team will be? What do you think first, JT?
I think the strength of this team is going to be the run game. I think I trust our offensive line, and I think we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and we'll be able to run the ball up and down the field on them.
Our offensive line coach puts a huge emphasis on knockback and controlling the line of scrimmage. So that's, obviously JT has been listening.
Coach, who are some rising sophomores and juniors that we maybe don't know about, some underdogs that we haven't heard of in the past?
This guy to my left, he's the best kept secret in the state of Alabama right now. He's going to be a junior this next season. He's right at 6'4", he's 295, and he is being recruited by some D1 schools. So his name hasn't got out there yet, but it's coming. It's going to. You'll be hearing and seeing a lot of him shortly after the football season starts this year.
Tell us about the thought process of having an almost 300-pounder playing tight end.
Well, the thought process there is to dominate the off-tackle area. Put people in a bind. What are you going to do? How many people are you going to put to the tight end side? Are you going to pack in the off-tackle area? If you do, hopefully we'll be able to get to the edge of the defense then. So that's the thought process there, just to help the run game. We have him, we have a couple other guys. Now, the guy to my immediate right, Ralph, he's not one of the biggest guys on the line of scrimmage, as you can tell, but, he is a phenomenal football player. He is extremely good. He's a gritty kid. He's smart. He calls out our fronts, which dictates our blocking scheme. So he does a great job.
I mean, you guys want to be a run-first team.
Yes.
And there's so many teams that are in the spread now. I know this isn't going to be a unique question. Can you just explain, why you guys think that's the best, that gives you guys the best chance to win?
Well, it does give us the best chance of winning because in the past we haven't had the type of quarterback that could throw the ball around the field, and we haven't had the receivers to throw them to. As a head coach, I want to do things and I want to put my team in position to have success. Now, that is beginning to change. Second half of the season, we started breaking out of the wing tee and going to some more gun spread packages because our quarterback, Chase, had developed. His accuracy had gotten better. And we had a couple of young receivers that could run, catch the ball, and make plays in space. As crazy as it sounds, I think game 8 or 9 last year, we threw for over 400 yards in that game.
You guys did have a big passing game.
Yes, which was, had not been the norm. But the fact now that we do have a or I believe we have a quarterback that can get the job done, and we got some guys that can make plays in space, we'll be throwing the ball a little bit more.
What is your basic philosophy? Would you rather run the football, or you let your talent dictate which way you want to play? Most of the time, coaches have in their mind what they feel like is going to be the best chance for them to win. But then in every case, I think, and every case is different, your talent really will dictate what you can do. Or are you one of these that you would adjust your talent, or you let your players adjust what you do?
I want to adjust to what my players can do. Back several years ago, I was with Ryan Herring. I was his offensive coordinator for a long time, and the last year he and I was together, we were about 52-48 run to pass ratio. Perfect world, you want to be balanced. I mean, you want to be balanced. It sets the defense back on its heels, but a lot of times the players that you have and personnel you have dictate you have to do other things. And, when I first got the head job at Shelby County, what was lacking was some toughness, so we put a huge emphasis on bringing back the run game and trying to build some toughness. And, we had some quarterbacks that was more suited for triple option, wing T stuff, and Chase has been a little bit different. He brings an arm. He's got a great arm. His mechanics is not where I want him to be, and he would tell you that. He and I have some bad days at practice every now and then, but he's a good kid and he listens. He's given us the ability with a couple of receivers that we can spread it out and we can throw it, because that's what they're good at. But of course, with guys like JT, hopefully we're going to be able to run the ball too. So,
Chase, when Coach says we're going to throw it more, how does that make you feel? Because I think that's the first time I've ever heard him say that.
Yeah, it's a good thing to hear.
Probably makes him nervous, because with throw more, he gets a little more attention from the head coach. From me, he gets coached a little more. But he improved tremendously over the course of the season last year. Early on, the whole team had a bad game, and his stats were pretty bad. And I called him in, and he and I sat down and talked. And I told him, I said, "You're my quarterback. It wasn't a good game, but everybody had a bad game, including myself. It was just a bad game all the way around. I'm going to stay with you, and we're going to get better." And that was early on. And of course, as the season began to play out, he become more accurate, throwing the ball much better, had the big passing game. So, I've been really pleased with his progression.
For all of you guys, at the end of last year, I think you guys scored 40 plus in all the last 3 games. How much confidence and everybody wants to get in the playoffs, and that didn't happen, but how much confidence did you feel like that gave you guys going into the offseason? What do you think, Chase?
I feel like it gave me a good bit of confidence. Our offense started getting rolling and becoming a team, and as an offense, we're just a year older, pretty much.
I think we averaged 12 points a game the first 5 games. Then the last 5, we were around 36 points per game. So it was, and I've been asked several times what caused that. Well, a lot of it was the game began to slow down because we were a really young team. We made some tweaks. We started throwing the ball a little bit more. Our quarterback became a little more accurate, and the offensive line got a little bit better. As a whole, as an entire season, the offensive line did not have that great of a year last year. And we've put a lot of emphasis in the offseason on being better. We've got to create space for running backs. We got to give the quarterback time. We got to protect him and create space for running backs. Space equals success. No space equals failure.
Coach, get away from the defense and the offense just a second. The third phase of your team's game is the kicking game.
Yes.
Anytime you got a good enough kicker inside the 10, 20-yard line, you got a chance.
Would love to have that. Yes, I would love to have that. If you know anybody, a kicker looking for a place, a home, Shelby County is his place. But the kicking game has been especially field goals and extra points, has been a thorn in their side for the last few years. Now, the good thing about that is I think we converted we were at 64% conversion rate on 2-point conversions last season. So we got pretty good at 3 yards. The punt game, we gave up a punt return for a touchdown last year, got another one blocked, ran back for a touchdown. So that was, you don't ever want that to happen. You never want a punt return for a touchdown. You never want one blocked. Those are game changers. The kicking game, as far as kickoff, we did pretty good in that aspect of it. Now, we blocked several punts last year. We had a coach on special teams that really did a good job of week to week scheming people, and I think we blocked 6-7 punts last season. So those were all positives. But as far as the extra point field goal, we got a lot of work to do there.
Coach, who's going to be special teams? You got your runner. Who's going to be your return man this year?
Well, we lost a return man from last season, Trinity Martin. That was a big blow, losing him. He was a dynamic player. He was a freshman. Right now, we got 2 guys. We're going to probably go with Isaac Montgomery, a receiver. He'll probably be our deep return guy because he's got good hands, good speed, and he can bring something to the table. Right now, he's not as explosive as the Martin kid was last season, but I believe that he can definitely return some for touchdowns. And, Trinity did last year.
Ralph, it's interesting, particularly when Coach was talking about the run game, your head was going up and down. Just from your perspective, what do you expect out of the offense and the team this year?
I really expect a lot of good things coming from the O-line and the backs this year. I think last year we were slow because we were all getting a feel for each other. And this year I think we've grown comfortable with each other.
They need to understand, and it's my job as a coach to give them reality checks. Just because we averaged 36 points a game our last 5 games doesn't mean we're going to pick right up where we left off. There's a lot of work, a lot of preparation, a lot of time has to be put in, and so they need to understand that.
And the flip side was that particularly those last 3 weeks, you guys scored a lot of points, but you also gave up a lot of points.
It was a nightmare. I mean, it was like, it was, I really don't have vocabulary to describe how bad it was standing on the sideline watching our defense perform those last 3 games. All 3 games we should have won. I think we only come out with 1. Should have won all 3 games. We could not get a stop. And that was very frustrating, very disappointing, which the buck stops with the head football coach. Obviously, and me and the assistant coaches didn't do a very good job of getting the defense ready to play.
Did you guys make some schematic changes in the offseason, or is it just a matter of, okay, and if so, what changes? If you feel comfortable talking about.
Well, I mean, we're going to be a traditional 50 front, odd front, 3-2. And, that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. So we've had some position changes. We've had some coaching changes. We've done a great deal over on the defensive side of the ball to get that shored up. I've become more active with the defense as well. So, and working with the defensive lineman, JT, and he gets to spend all day with me.
And JT, Coach said that you play tight end and defensive end. What do you expect from the defense this year?
I expect we're going to do a lot better. I personally believe we've been working hard this offseason, and I think that our game plan is going to be all right, and we're going to go out there and get them pretty much.
He thinks we're going to have an all right game plan.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is for the players real quick. I was asked this question, and I know Coach is here. He's going to tell you to say every week is a special game, but what's that one game that you guys maybe have friends on the other team or whatever that y'all look forward to playing against?
I look forward to playing Jefferson this year.
Jefferson?
Yes, sir.
Coach, I tell you what, sometimes we lose games just because talent's not there, okay? So a lot of times, I know you coaches beat yourself up sometimes, but sometimes it's like going against a brick wall every once in a while. I want to give you a little clue as to where this all comes into play. I did the play-by-play for Best Stable for 17 years. Buddy Anderson.
It's a good football program.
Buddy is a special person to me, but I'll never forget, he told me one time, because I was questioning our talent, you know, our lack of it. He said, Stanford, you know what? I'm going to tell you something you probably have never thought about, but we can only play with the kids, the mama and daddies in Best Stable still out. In other words, sometimes you're fortunate enough to have a good talent pool. Sometimes it's just not there. And you can, and you've been in the business long enough. You know, sometimes probably you've done your best coaching job when you've had the least talent, but you've got the maximum out of you. So I know the philosophy of you coaches, all you care about is if your kids buy into what you want to do and give you the best they got. That's all they can do. And let it come out what it may, as long as they're doing the best they can.
That's all we ask out of. That's all I ask out of these guys, for them to get a little better each day. Give me what they got, buy into what I'm trying to sell them, and play the best you can. And you know, they're a good group of kids. They're a good group of kids, and I'm very fortunate, very blessed to be at Shelby County High School.